Now, to our next topic, Laura Loomer is panicking because the GOP is embracing Nazism. And she is now on social media, basically ready to, I guess, acknowledge the elephant in the room, I suppose, is what she wants to do now. Here's what she has to say on Twitter. MTG and Laura Loomer are the same kind of person. Hell on earth to give to everyone else, disrespect to give to everyone else, absolutely inhumane and disgusting behavior to give to everyone else, and in the moment it visits them, now all of a sudden they're crying for help. Laura Loomer is calling out Nazism on the right, and she has this to say. She says, I'm gonna say it. The GOP has a Nazi problem. And the more we pretend like we don't, the worse it's going to get. We do. Don't tell me we don't. See, the problem with you, Laura Loomer, is you seem to think that you are a part of we. You seem to think you are a part of we. You are not a part of the word we in the context of this of the series of sentences you wrote here. You are not within the we. This is like Randy Fine and the young Jewish kids at his little rally, these young college-age Jewish kids holding up red signs saying, Tucker's not MAGA. Wait, you thought the MAGA movement was for you? You thought the MAGA movement represented you? MAGA is an Anglo-Saxon Protestant. Well, now they're going Catholic for whatever. Apparently, the Founding Fathers were big fans of Catholicism. They love using the Founding Fathers for everything else but Catholicism. Okay. The Founding Fathers apparently were big fans of Catholicism. So MAGA is an Anglo-Saxon Protestant Catholic ethno-nationalist movement that does not like Jewish people. Let's just establish that fact here and now. Laura Loomer was perfectly, by the way, this isn't somebody who for the longest time was waging war against Nick. Ben Shapiro might be a hypocrite. He might be someone who indirectly led to Nick Fuentes. Laura Loomer was an individual who purposefully associated herself with Nick as much as she possibly could. This is someone who is physically in pictures with Nick multiple times. You were pictured with an individual who is literally on camera multiple times praising Hitler. He literally went on Alex Jones's show and brought about one of the most insane moments of American politics where him and Ye went on the Alex Jones show and Ye declared his love for Hitler and Nick Fuentes joined in. Nick Fuentes loves Hitler, as he said multiple times on his show. Nick Fuentes does not like Jewish people. Nick Fuentes was on Tucker Carlson's show and spoke about international Jewry. These aren't the things that someone says when they're just concerned about AIPAC. These are the words of an individual who believes that Jewishness in and of itself is a problem. That's what Nick believes. Nick has spoken about it. He literally says he believes that Jewishness is inherent to the issues that America faces with the entrenchment of AIPAC in American politics. He believes it is entrenched either in their biology or their culture. This is what he believes. See, you guys were cool with Nick when you thought Nick was never going to ever crawl out of the little abyss you cast him into. That's the reality. That's the psychology that you guys, that's the psychological state Ben Shapiro was in, and even Laura Loomer was in. It was cool to either be cool with Nick, or it was cool for Nick to be on Twitter. It was cool for Nick to have a platform. It was cool for Nick to have a platform on Twitter when you thought he couldn't grow beyond his psychotic Groyper base. It was cool for Nick, for you to be pictured with Nick and kiki and all of that. It was cool for you to be pictured with him and to support him and be clicked up with him when you thought he was just going to be stuck on Cozy TV or stuck on Rumble. But no, that's not what happened. Sneeko put him onto Fresh and Fit. Destiny platformed him. Adam Sosnick platformed him. PBD platformed him. Bradley Martin. Literally, it has been a slow but steady rise. From the Destiny platform, the Fresh and Fit platforms, the Yay situation. I might be putting it in improper chronological order, but this was inevitable. This has been a slow buildup. It's not overnight. None of this, it looks overnight. Nick's current rise looks overnight. It was not overnight. It was a slow buildup from 2022 up to now. That's the truth. A very gradual but clear buildup to where we are right now. And the reality is, Laura Loomer was perfectly comfortable engaging in Nazi rhetoric when she thought other people were going to be the victim. Because the reality is that, I even made a video about this. Laura Loomer made a post on June 30th of 2025. Laura Loomer says alligator lives matter. The good news is alligators are guaranteed at least 65 million meals if we get started now. There are 65 million Hispanics in this country. Not undocumented, Hispanics in general, legal, illegal. 65 million. She, a Jewish woman, is making not even a joke. This is not a joke. This is disgusting. She makes a statement in which she calls for the genocide of 65 million people. Now she's panicking because the racism she thought was going to be specifically aimed at black people and Hispanics is now coming to her. Laura Loomer, in the build-up to the election, talked about how if Kamala Harris got into the White House, it would smell like curry. You thought you could foster this kind of racist base and they weren't going to be anti-Jewish? Really? You really believe that? Like, you and Ben Shapiro really believed if you slow walked racism covert or overt back into the public domain of American politics, it couldn't possibly blow back on you. You really believed you could have your perfect little custom-made designer form of racism, your little Gucci, Louis, Prada form of racism, made just for you. A little Birkin bag with your initials in it, right? No. No. Absolutely. And the killer part about it is, Nick is 20 times as funny, 20 times as articulate, 20 times as entertaining as everyone else in right-wing media. And you guys either indirectly led to normalizing him by supporting Donald Trump, or you directly supported him in the case of Laura Loomer. Now you want to come on social media and say the GOP has a Nazi problem. I'm sorry, but like, when you say we, you do understand that you are not a part of we. You're not a part of this thing of theirs. You are someone who was tolerated because at the time, you couldn't be discarded on the basis of you being Jewish. At the time. But the reality is, these people believe that any Jewish presence is something to be upended and gotten rid of. It's a paranoid fear where they literally are looking under any crevice, any corner, under any rock, looking for Jewish people. That is the nature of what these people believe. And you thought you could promote hatred against Indian people, black people, Hispanic people, and they wouldn't come for you. You thought they wouldn't come for you. You thought white supremacy had a space just for you. No, it does not. Not with Nick Fuentes becoming the new face of the right. No, it doesn't. Nick Fuentes is not here to play. That man, his life has been chaotic as a result of this war he's had with Ben Shapiro and the pro-Israel wing of the right. You think he's going to come in and spare y'all? You think he's going to get in and spare Jewish MAGA? No, his personal beef, the biggest personal beef he has is with you. You, Ben Shapiro, all of you are the personal beef, the personal vendetta he has. He just so happened to somehow win the war 10 years later. I don't even know how it's possible, but he did. He managed to hang on. He managed to somehow, some way hang the fuck on, and now he's here. And now you want to come on social media and say the GOP has a Nazi problem. Sure. Now she goes on to say, people can get mad at me for saying this, but it's true. I have no problem with people criticizing Israel. I even said NA to Israel. Yeah, you think that's going to all of a sudden make you trustworthy to them? Well, I said this thing, so now I'm good, right? No, but let's admit this isn't about Israel. It never was, but the fact that you couldn't see this coming is crazy. When you have top podcasters saying Jewish Americans are disloyal, saying Trump is controlled by Jews, saying Jews need to self-deport to Israel, Gen Z glorifying Hitler and doing Sieg Heils all over TikTok. By the way, Elon Musk at the fucking inauguration did a Sieg Heil. So this is her playing Johnny come lately now that it's really, really undeniable that this is really happening. Tucker Carlson infiltrating movements to say the people who killed Jesus killed Charlie Kirk at Charlie's memorial. That's crazy. And acceptance of videos portraying Jews as cockroaches and glorification of people who go around saying the N-word, typo there, and calling Jews the K-slur and saying Hitler is cool and we should have let him win World War II. Oh, now the N-word is bad. Why don't you say Nick Fuentes in this paragraph, lady? I don't see, where's Nick in here? I'm looking for Nicholas Fuentes in this tweet and I'm not seeing it. Laura Loomer, where's Nick's name? Where's Nick? It seems like you don't want to mention Nick because you know you were directly involved with like promoting him. And you know that people would like clown you and attack you and shit on you for that clear fact. That's what it seems like to me. It seems like you're afraid of people calling out the fact that you were actually one of the people who facilitated this. You have top podcasters saying Jewish Americans are disloyal. I wonder who's promoting that. I wonder who's the source of that. I wonder who. I wonder which person in political media today has this kind of political movement that insinuates that Jewish Americans have dual loyalty. Not to mention the fact that, by the way, Ben Shapiro isn't actually helping his own personal case. Randy Fine isn't helping his case. These big people in conservative media who happen to be Jewish aren't helping their case. When Donald Trump is draining American money and sending it abroad and betraying the American people who he promised to help, and Ben Shapiro isn't criticizing him for it at all, and actually telling Americans to just pack up their shit and move to another city if you can't afford to live in your hometown, I can't imagine how the combination of promoting a neo-Nazi and then some people in conservative media who are Jewish not actually giving a fuck about America, I wonder how this combination of shit could lead to this current day. I wonder how. I wonder how. I wonder how. I really do. Oh, Gen Z glorifying Hitler and doing Sieg Heils all over TikTok. Laura, when Elon Musk acquired Twitter, it became a fucking racial shit show within days. Where were you? Where were you? Where were you? Tucker Carlson infiltrating movements to say the people who killed Jesus killed Charlie Kirk at Charlie's memorial. I mean, what the fuck were you expecting? You guys are the kings and queens of conspiracy theories. Candace Owens is basically, I mean, at this point, you guys have you facilitated this entire environment that you have in front of you now. You've been one of the main people ranting and raving about incoherent babble on this app for like years now. And now all of a sudden you've gained a rational mind. This is what we call fear. This is called fear. Now all of a sudden you're thinking coherently and rationally. Wow. Interesting. Interesting. Glorification of people who go around saying the N-word. I wonder if you were ever associated with one of those people. Could it possibly be somebody by the name of Nicholas J. Fuentes? Why don't you say his name? He calls black people the N-word with the hard R all the time, from a place of hatred, and you associated with him multiple times. What were you even? This isn't even a guy who hid his hatred for Jewish people. And you still associated with him, I guess, to try to give yourself conservative cool points and come across like a good Jewish person. I'm one of the good Jews. Take it from black people. It don't work. Kissing conservative white American racist ass doesn't work. Either they like you or they don't. Either a person likes you or if they hate you for being Jewish and they hate you, what are you going to possibly do to fix that? You were born Jewish, you'll die Jewish. You can't change that for them. Why don't you associate with people who aren't going to question you every fucking moment for being Jewish? You can't though, because you hate the blacks and browns so much that you gotta be associated with white supremacy. You even advocated for a white ethno state. So see, you were cool with all of this until you realized it was going to lead to its inevitable end, Nazism. I mean, Elon Musk doing a Sieg Heil at the inauguration, Donald Trump doing rallies in the Midwest talking to Americans of Nordic descent and saying, you guys have good genes, good genes. Trump saying that undocumented immigrants are poisoning the blood of our country. He's not talking about white undocumented immigrants. He's talking about the brown ones. These, by the way, poisoning the blood of our country is literally a line from Mein Kampf. Trump, by the way, is rumored to literally have had as one of his books, like on his fucking nightstand. He's rumored to have had. So this is a guy directly quoting Mein Kampf. This was a guy who literally used an anti-Semitic slur in the lead up to the fucking election. I can't even remember. I think it was either the lead up to the election or after he won. He used an anti-Semitic, not even a normal one, like a one that you would never have heard of unless you were deep into those circles. So Trump is an anti-Semite with Jewish grandchildren, by the way. The signs were obvious that this was going to be the inevitable destination for the nation and for your movement, and now you're bitching and moaning. Now you are bitching and moaning. She says, if the GOP doesn't address this, then they deserve to lose the midterms. And yes, it will cost us the midterms. You're not going to lose the midterms because you guys are anti-Jewish. That's not why you're going to lose the midterms. Hitler LARPing and obsessively talking about Israel doesn't appeal to everyday Americans. Yes, it does. It's working. Telling Christian Zionists they are the worst people in the world isn't going to win. It literally is. The base is literally in love with anti-Israel rhetoric and anti-Jewish rhetoric right now. Laura, you're not on the mark. They hate you, and it's working. Their base loves it. They love it. They literally love it. Like, what do you like, dude? Nick has a cult-like fan base that, in terms of nature, not necessarily size, but in terms of nature, rivals Trump's. When you sit there and say this stuff isn't going to help, it's working. The base isn't schisming over this. Understand and realize wealthy billionaires who happen to be Jewish in the right wing, who are pro-Israel and don't give a shit about like America at all, they're a minority. They're in the minority. The majority of MAGA is white, Anglo-Saxon, Protestant, or Catholic. This movement has never been a purely Jewish or Zionist movement. So this delusion of like, we're going to lose because we're becoming Nazis. Yeah, but not because of like literal Nazism. Like they're going to lose because they're like deporting every other Hispanic person. They're demonizing Hispanics publicly now. They're demonizing black people publicly now. Like it's becoming obvious that like MAGA is a literal white nationalist movement, which everyone was warned multiple times for a decade now. She is now trying to make it seem like they're going to lose because they're becoming anti-Jewish. That's not true. And she needs to accept this because all of the stuff you promoted is actually the reason why they're going to lose. Hispanics make up a significant portion of America's population, and not one of the demographics are being spared. The Cubans aren't being spared. The Venezuelans aren't being spared. The Colombians aren't being spared. These conservatives who thought that they were unique or special are not being spared. She goes on to say, she says, good luck losing in 2026 and 2028. Laura, you're going to lose because Trump's economic policies are a fucking disaster. She goes on to say, there's zero moral clarity in the GOP right now. Yeah, it's always been that way. You were a part of it until it turned on you. She says, we have a Nazi problem in the GOP, and the Muslims on the left are loving this because they too want to spew Nazi-like rhetoric against Jews. I mean, whose fault is that? Like, you literally promoted Nazism on the right. If you wanted a safe haven, you should have not promoted, you literally gave ground for people who are very likely anti-Semites on the right. The reality is the left is nowhere near as anti-Semitic as the right. Not even close. Not even close. We don't promote anti-Semites on the left. We don't. Some people say Hassan Piker is anti-Semitic. I mean, that depends upon how you interpret some of the stuff he's done. But this is all your fault. Like, if you wanted a safe haven, you should have not promoted racists. I don't know what to tell you. Like, literally, the reality is the left is a safe space for Jewish people. You wanted to promote white supremacy, but be a part of it. You feel unsafe because of you. If you want to feel safe, you can come over here, but you hate blacks too much, and you hate Hispanics too much, and you hate non-whites too much. So it's like, where are you really going to go? If you wanted a safe haven, you could be over here, but you wanted to be over there. So, I mean, who's to feel bad for you? Fuck you. Fuck Ben Shapiro. Fuck Randy Fine. Fuck all of y'all. I don't feel bad for any of you. You all deserve this. I love this for you. Because it was cool to shit on blacks. It was cool to shit on fucking Hispanics. Now anti-Semitism is popular. And now all of a sudden, the left and the right are unsafe. That's not true. It's just not. I don't know what you like, I don't know what you like. The reality is, are there crazy Muslims on the left who have said some anti-Semitic shit? Yeah, like random TikTokers who no one fucking knows. And I've made multiple videos. By the way, anyone can look in ain't no mystery in my history. Every time Kanye went on an anti-Jewish rant, I literally condemned it. When Ye dropped the Heil Hitler song, I literally condemned it because it's bad. It's bad to be racist. If you look in the comment section of every single video that I've done defending Jewish people, dude, people in my comment section attack me. Black people who would lose their minds if people treated them the way they're talking about Jews, they're in the comment section attacking me. Hello? Like, come on. So, like, don't play this game of there's the Nazis on the left. Who? The radical Muslims are trans. Who? Bullshit. Talking about some and the Muslims on the left are loving this because they too want to spew Nazi rhetoric against Jews. Like, if you felt that way, if you really felt like the left was so racist, you know what you could have done? You could have not promoted racism on the right. That's what I would have done. If I felt like the left is so unsafe for me, why would I promote racism where I'm at? If you really felt like the left was full of a bunch of racist Nazi Muslims, you shouldn't have promoted racism on the right. You have no one to blame but yourself. And none of what you're saying is even true. It's just not. Like, no one on the left is doing, like, interviews about global Jewry. Like, Nick can only get away with this on Tucker Carlson's show. There is not a left-wing platform that Nick can go on and say this without getting pushed back. Not Destiny, not Hassan, not Vosh, not fucking Young Turks. There's nowhere Nick could go and say this without getting pushed back on the left. Nowhere. He couldn't go on MSNBC. He couldn't go, well, CNN, they're sold out now. There's nowhere he could go on the left and pull this off. You know it. I know it. Everyone knows it. You're in denial because you wanted to desperately be a part of white supremacy. And your way of coping is by accusing the left of being a hotbed of Muslim anti-Semites. Where? Who? I'm an owl at this point. I'm just hooing into the fucking dark. Who? Stop trying to cope. You made your bed. She says, get mad at me for saying this. I do not care because it's true. Global Jewry is a Nazi talking, but just say Nick. Just say Nick. He literally, bro, this nigga Nick Fuentes is on Tucker Carlson's show and says global Jewry. Who, bro? Just say Nick. She says global Jewry is a Nazi talking point. It has nothing to do with foreign policy. Just say Nick Fuentes. Why can't you condemn Nick Fuentes? Ben can do it. Ben and Nick have been at war for a decade now. Like, Nick Fuentes literally pulled up on him in person and harassed him in front of his family. Why is it that Ben, who still has not taken accountability for how he's laid the foundation for Nick, why is it that Ben can acknowledge Nick Fuentes and you can't? Could it be that on some level you're afraid of the Groypers, and on another level you don't want to be called out for platforming him multiple times and constantly hanging around him? Now you're in fear for your life as a Jewish woman after promoting hatred toward others. She says, I will not unite with this, and neither will the majority of the GOP base. Ooh, your ass is in for a rude awakening. You are in for a another demographic for conservative white America to hate? You think they're gonna turn that down? You're delusional. Boy, them niggas can't wait to be they're already anti-black. They got mad infinity. You niggas got infinity stones on lock. Anti-black, anti-Hispanic, anti-Muslim Arab, anti-goddamn woman, anti-white woman, anti-white liberal. And bro, these niggas, is there anything they don't hate? Anti-Indian, anti-Native American, but they hate everybody. You think they're gonna pass up a chance to add? They even hate each other. Nick got called a bunch of anti-Italian, anti-Polish slurs, anti-Irish slurs recently. These niggas even hate each other. You think they're gonna pass up a chance to hate you? It's the ultimate test of white nationalism, is hating Jewish people. You think they're gonna pass up the final and most important infinity stone for their movement? No, Laura, it doesn't work like that. Welcome to black people's world that you were very, very happy to leave us in and were happy to take part in relegating us to. Welcome to our world. Welcome to our world. She says, we are likely going to lose the midterms over this nihilistic Nazi love fest. I'll be here to say I told you so. Laura Loomer, you are one of the most insane, delusional, mentally ill individuals I have ever seen. You are in denial. Number one, people are not turning on Trump because he refuses to condemn Nick. They're not turning on MAGA because Tucker Carlson spoke to Nick. Most of MAGA is pro-Nick right now and pro-Tucker. Period. The reality is the Heritage Foundation was basically held up by, like, you know, an organization of conservative Jews who were like, we're not going to work with you anymore if you guys don't apologize for platforming Nick. If you don't apologize for Tucker platforming Nick. And the MAGA base showed where their loyalty was. They said, no, Tucker can interview whoever the fuck he wants, and we actually agree with Nick. You made your bed. You made your bed. You made your bed. It was perfectly fine being racist toward Kamala Harris for being black and Indian. Now all of a sudden you're afraid. You want to bring up the N-word now? Oh, you want black people to jump in and fight for you? Nope. Nope. I'm not aligning with red anything. I'm not aligning with red white people. I'm not aligning with red black people. I'm not aligning with red Hispanics or red Jewish people. If you are red, go over there. Stay over there. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to interact with you. Stay over there. Stay on that sinking ship. Don't come over here. Don't infect my space and my area with your fuck shit. Stay your motherfucking ass over there. Blue Jewish people, my nigga. Blue Hispanics, my nigga. Blue blacks, you already know what it is. Blue white folks, we lit. If you are blue, my nigga. If you're red, stay the fuck away from me. In fact, nigga, goddamn, I need a goddamn, I'm gonna get like a 20-foot pole and carry it around, an extendo clip. Dead ass, just like stay the fuck away from me. Oh, you voted for Trump? Okay, let's go on ahead. 20 feet away, stay away. I don't want to catch the disease. Stay away. That's my perspective on this. If you voted red, get the fuck away from me. I'm not aligning with, like, I'm not doing this shit. I'm not saving Ben Shapiro and Laura Loomer and these people. All of you are getting a wake-up call. Candace Owens got her wake-up call. She's in denial about the next wake-up call she needs to experience, which is white people. Brandon Tatum is getting his wake-up call. Nick called him a nigga on his stream, and Brandon Tatum, he a racist. He said mixing is wrong. Like, you make anti-black videos all day. What did you think? What did you think the logical conclusion would be? It'd be one thing if you were like equally like distributing your racism, but like no, like all you do is make anti-black content. I make race jokes about white people, black people, Hispanic people. People come to my show and know like I don't hate any demographic. With you, no one can be so sure. But we begin to realize that you thought there was a limit to how racist white people were allowed to be. You get what I'm saying? That's the reality of it. So, Laura Loomer, Ben Shapiro, all of these people need to realize and recognize and understand that this is your bed. You made this bed. You made this bed, and you got to lie in it. I'm not coming in to save you. It was cool talking down about black people's experience in America. Reparations is wrong. And then when asked about reparations for the Holocaust, oh, well, that's different. Well, what the fuck? You're in America. You're in America. This is the United States of America. My ancestors were slaves here. Slavery was done here. Jim Crow was done here. Mass incarceration was done here. If you have no sympathy or empathy for that, I'm not extending it to you specifically. Other Jewish people, they have my support. I don't believe in racism. I don't believe in anti-white racism, anti-Jewish racism. No form of racism do I believe in or support. However, if you want to sit there and support white supremacy and then start bringing up how people hate blacks and they say the N-word, so what? I don't care. Let Nick run wild. A lot of demographics on the right need a wake-up call. You think you're unique? You think because you're not black, you're safe? You think because you're not a black American, you're cool? Oh, I'm one of the good minorities. Oh, really, are you? Are you? You think when they talk about the great replacement, they're talking about black people? We're 12% of the population. Our population hasn't changed since Muhammad Ali's days. It's not us that's growing in population size. So it always blows my mind when, you know, non-black, non-white Americans who are Hispanic or otherwise somehow believe that like they are, you know, a part of the club. How are you a part of the club? You're not a part of the club, my G. You're not. You're not a part of the club. So as far as I'm concerned, Laura, Ben, all of y'all, relax. Stay where you are. Don't come to black people. Don't start bringing up, oh, he said the N-word with a hard R. What you want me to do? What you want me? You laid the foundation. I'm not about to expend energy like, why? Why? It was cool when he was doing that, when you thought he didn't have a platform, and you laid the foundation. You supported Trump no matter what, and you all knew Trump was never going to condemn Nick Fuentes in your heart of hearts. Y'all thought Trump, after Nick somehow, like, after Ye brought Nick into Mar-a-Lago, you thought Trump was going to condemn Nick? No, Trump never condemns anyone who's on his dick. Trump just says, I don't know who that is. I never knew him. I never met him. Easy. And his base forgets about it. They don't even give a fuck anyways. You all thought Trump was asked about Nick yesterday or the day before. And you know what he said? He said Tucker can talk to whoever he wants. Yeah, I met Nick in Mar-a-Lago. Kanye brought him. I didn't know who he was. The end. No condemnation. No actual articulation on Nick's beliefs. Nope. He just said, I never knew him, but I met him. It is what it is. Bye. Wow. Wow. Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. So, as far as I'm concerned, dude, Laura Loomer's a hypocrite, just like Marjorie Taylor Greene, and these are individuals who don't understand problems until they come flying straight at them. Laura Loomer is afraid to say Nick Fuentes' name because she platformed him, supported him, took pictures with him, yada, yada, yada. And now she wants to run away from the reality that she helped create because it's becoming scary. It's becoming scary. So, welcome to our world. Welcome to our reality. The fuck do you want us to say? You know? Saying that the left is full of racist Muslims that hate Jews. That's not even true. It's not even true. The left has done its best to you know, not align with or support any of that. The left is a mostly completely safe space for people who aren't white. And yet non-whites continuously try to be a part of white supremacy. You, Vivek, Dinesh, all of you keep trying and trying and trying. And instead of just acknowledging the truth that black people have warned you about multiple times, you guys are apt to like think it's Nick. Nick is just saying what they all think. Nick is just bringing out the part of them that they just feel like they can't say. That's all there is to it. You know, you can try to, nah, Nick is just a guy who is entertaining and charismatic and funny and intelligent enough to, you know, propel their psychotic and racist and disgusting views to the surface. That's it. That's it. When they say, oh, the left is racist toward Jews, who, like random people on social media? I'm sorry, did Biden say an anti-Semitic slur in a campaign speech? Did Biden have dinner with Nick Fuentes? Did Kamala? I'm sorry, help me on it. Like, who on the left, who's endorsed by the left-wing establishment, is promoting anti-Semitism? The likes of Nick Fuentes? No one. So, I mean, like, you know, people will sit there and say, like, oh, man, like, you know, the left is so racist. It's like, no, it's not. And you need to actually accept the fact that racism is what you've always been in favor of. Apologize for that. Try to like make do for what you've done. Apologize to the demographics of people you've attacked and harassed and, you know, tried to fucking, you know, ruin the lives of, and make penance. Repent. Repent before Biden. Repent before your maker.